right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Dr. Stone, Season 1, Episode 15. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Chrome has defeated Magma.
That's right.
And oh my god, that was
quite the
just
Hail
some
Mary.
Good hype stuff there. And we had the teamwork combination, Asagiri again coming in clutch, but we also had Chrome's incredible mental fortitude and concentration to be able to focus on that specific point.
And use the water lens to... Well, yeah.
But yes. Hit the target properly.
Exactly. And Magma is now soundly defeated. Chrome advances on to the next stage, and I'm guessing there won't be much issue on the other side, so Chrome's going to be in finals.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Chrome being headed to the finals, and then us having kind of a, what's this next match basically going to bring up here? Like there is potential kind of upsets and interesting, awkward kind of dynamics with what happens on the right side now. But they have effectively, won in that it's them.
So now we get to see how this story is going to handle the idea of these teenagers getting married. Yes. Or will they just be betrothed for now until they come of age?
It's like that. Come of age, though, that's kind of a more modern concept. Though,
unless it was passed down through the stories. The legal systems, and you must be 18,
Right. We'll see. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, and then come back here for the discussion. All right, Sulfa cure-all drug completed.
Yep.
Ruri has been cured.
That's right.
Senku is the chief, even though he married Ruri
and then divorced
Ruri in like 30 seconds.
Yep. And hey, that's like that's the way to do it.
And still ended up becoming chief.
Yep. That's the way to do it.
Wow.
She wanted Chrome to win. But, Senku ended up winning because circumstances without ever actually really lifting a finger. Although, he did have to actually fight Ginro. Ginro was the toughest opponent. But then, there you go. Married for 30 seconds.
Yeah, and Senku is going to, as chief, put into their grand bout rulings that there is always 1 day of prep time in before every fight.
Indeed.
That gives all those that are scared about potential Magma showing up time to rig the match a little bit more so that they can make sure that all three of them, the crew that are rigging it get a proper amount of time to... set up their Chrome equivalent.
And probably set up something of no future people outside of the village may participate in the tournament, just in case Tsukasa happens to shows up. Because that would be an issue. Yeah. I gotta say, there were so many things that happened this episode that were really wholesome and were kind of like little surprises, where it's like they're leading you to think it's gonna go some other way. Right. And then nope, surprise, like the whole thing with Ginro. No.
Asagiri again.
Asagiri again, yeah.
Yes.
Like, with it being something of, like, carbonated water. Oh, my God, this is it. You're actually doing it. You're actually doing it. Oh, it's for something else?
Right.
Wait, has he forgotten about me?
Well, I think he's more like, it was
okay.
It was a nice dream, but, cool.
All right. And then
it comes back there. And
it's there. And it's like, yes. Yes.
The fruits of his labors were rewarded.
That's right.
Or he received the fruits of his labors. Yes, right. Exactly.
Yeah. Like that was fantastic. And then the whole idea of the trust issue over the sofa, of like, yeah, she has it, but, it's just an antibiotic. It's not necessarily going to instantly cure her or anything. And then, she's taking a turn for the worse. This must be because of that white powder that he gave her, because this wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Yeah. Obviously, she was supposed to snort it. Like, yep. But no.
And one of the things that I appreciate is that this show doesn't really do much fan service other than maybe occasional camera angles. But why not? Have that shot and not focus on it or anything.
It's not really that. It's not really that. No. Let's not even talk about that. That's just a thing of where it's like, sure. We have dirty minds, so we went there. But What I really liked, like you were bringing up here, was the idea of there being little wholesome surprises amidst the dramatic conclusion of us actually succeeding with this whole endeavor that's been like a huge journey for all the characters, especially Senku and then Chrome and Kohaku.
Yeah,
so
like there was a part of me earlier on that was wondering what, like, how much they were going to actually stick to the Solfa as like a long-term conflict, like point of conflict, you know, or if it was going to end up getting resolved in like just a few episodes.
Just a couple episodes, yeah.
Because it's a big undertaking.
Right.
It is a big undertaking.
How could they make it engaging that we
right, exactly, yeah.
Process?
Yeah, because I was worried that they would think it would get old after a little while or something like that, but they managed to do it, and
they did it.
And that last bit of complication where Senku's like, oh shit, what is this? Does she have tuberculosis? Like that's a problem. Yeah. And then that pose with the setting sun behind him, and he's like, we won.
We got it.
Yeah, like that was wonderful. And then of course her dad realizing,
oh,
my daughter's well.
Oh,
she can actually run around.
Yeah.
For the first time in years.
I also really love the bit they did with Kohaku, because by making it be pneumonia, what's really cool about this is that that's something that's ridiculously common as far as a disease goes. But Senku's right. Hundreds of millions of people have died to pneumonia over the years. It is like, it's up there in terms of like top killers of human beings, you know. So the fact that Kohaku's efforts were recontextualized as not only like something that we knew was important because it was helping her on some level, we know that is the reason why she was alive now. Which is, there was nothing else being done that could have let her live this long.
Yeah. And what I love about that is that it's kind of bringing up the idea that science can be misapplied, right? That there isn't necessarily always a one-size-fits-all thing, you know, like, and because like one of the other most common deaths, you know, of people is malpractice, where, you know, you're accidentally given the wrong
modern age.
In the modern age, right? You know, where it's just, the wrong drug is given to you or whatever, and you die. Whether accidentally or because it was a misdiagnosis or something, right? And so the idea that there was what Senku was doing, which was helping, right? But that the loved one that was basically paying close attention and doing what they could, seeing if something worked, that was actually a vital part of it too.
Right.
Like it's great from an emotional angle, but also just as I feel like it fits kind of.
Yeah.
So
one of the things I really liked about this was that because it was a cure-all antibiotic of sorts, he didn't do a diagnosis before administering the drug. What he's basically it is, we don't have a lot of time. I need to get this in you and then diagnose how your body reacts to it, because that's the only thing that I'm really going to learn much from.
Yeah.
However, he did do the say you know bit, and that was cute and funny. But he's not someone where he's going to immediately have a solution if he needs to switch up the drug or what have you. They spent a ridiculous amount of time prepping things to be ready for this. So if, you know,
this better work. Like,
they didn't really have any other shot at that point.
Yeah.
They also kind of, by finishing this here and introducing a new kind of main plot for Senku, really, they're potentially like changing the entire course of the show here, because one of the things that you would then focus on here, now that you have basically the village to help you with whatever endeavors you have from here on out, it might be less about trying to make sure that we are prepared or, you know, in proper defensive, you know, situation in case of a Tsukasa Empire attack. They end up basically going the surveillance route, where they're like, we need the ability to send out you know, radio signals or something to pick up, see if there's any machines or what have you they're still operating, if there's anyone else out there, that kind of thing. What have you. So there's a lot that they can do in the search for father, kind of typical coming of age story stuff, that will be a completely different kind of style of progression rather than going for a medicinal thing.
One of the other reasons why in a concrete way that is being brought up with the whole idea of Senku's dad, that I really like what they did with Kohaku with the hot spring water, is because it's something where it isn't just Senku, right? In the same way that, like, because the whole idea of, like, science, right? Senku's very smart, but he couldn't have done this by himself. He wouldn't have been able to heat the furnace for the iron. You know, he wouldn't have been able to get close enough to Ruri to diagnose her and all this stuff. Yep. So it is a team effort, right? Yep. It is this pocket of humanity banding together in whatever ways they can,
is making cool stuff happen.
and making cool stuff happen, right? Yep. So that plays into the hot spring water thing, and the fact that Senku's dad, who helped him go on this journey and learn all the science stuff in the first place, is also the one that started this village. It's just a great way to get more of the wholesome feeling stuff surrounding science, that like because at the beginning of the show, the whole idea of weapons of science to fight Tsukasa, right? That's very practical, but it doesn't have that same sort of cathartic emotional, like, payoff for it. You know, it would definitely be cool, but this, I feel like, is more of the heart of the show. So the fact that they're focusing on it like this, I really appreciate.
Well, it's something where we have multiple character motivations that converge towards a single point here, and that's something that was the wholesome bits of it, is that there are characters that we hadn't considered a member of the science, crew, that had their motivations for a lot of the things that they do just now capitulated, like the chief, for instance.
Right. Yeah.
The fact that he's now getting to see his daughter all healthy here moves him to tears. We also get to see, in a lot of ways, Ruri's motivation in a lot of things. Live as long as possible in order to pass things on, but she doesn't want to, pass a burden essentially on to, just anyone. It has to be something where she's like lives this out and makes this work. So. It's a pretty cool setup here. We've got Ruri basically all healthy, so we'll get to see more of who she really is.
Yep.
Because she's no longer in a surviving only mode. Yep. So we might have been, like, the whole thing with her running is an example of this.
Yep.
She's probably a lot more like Kohaku than she appeared to be. She was more kind of fulfilling her position and doing so in such a way that extended her life as much as possible.
Right.
So now that she's not worried about that, Chaos Girl, suddenly she's running around everywhere and she's like, this is so fun.
And I gotta say, that is a great way to use the sort of anime exaggeration of something physical or visible, because she's been sick for who knows how long, years, right? She has never felt this good before, ever. So, of course, she would start running like crazy, because why wouldn't she? She actually can now.
I resonate with her with regards to my current situation on a spiritual level. Because I've been cued for so long, and I've been practicing my SDing, I very much would love to go just run like mad and crazy everywhere, even though I kind of already have, but I'd love to do it with people and stuff as well again. So here's to those days. And for those of you that are watching this reaction like a year from now, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Just remember the toilet paper incident.
Just remember the toilet paper incident. Yes, exactly. I just say there were a lot of funny parts this episode.
Yes, there were a lot of funny parts.
There are lots of comedy. Ginro,
I was hoping that at some point they would bring up that aspect of like wait a minute. This is my chance.
She's kind of like a babe,
Yeah,
so
right. Yeah. Because it's also a sort of acknowledgement of the fact that, well, that's what most civilizations were back then. You had whoever was the chieftain, and they got the food and the women, and that's how it worked because, I mean, if they're the chief, they might as well, kind of a thing, right? So the fact that tempted Ginro for a second while he's hopped up on all the energy supplements and everything.
Yeah, he's probably still got a little bit of that juice,
Right, he's still buzzed, and he's like, wait a minute. Oh, this is my chance. I've dreamed about this.
Delusions of grandeur, indeed. You were spot on with that, because he's a young boy, and he kind of just realizes, wait a minute, Chrome is
unconscious,
half dead.
Yeah, right.
Senku is a spaghetti noodle.
Right.
I've actually been training for this.
Yeah.
And I'm hopped up on science magic.
Yeah. My time has come. But so that was great.
I can do this.
Yeah. I could do this.
Yeah.
But
I can do that. Yeah.
Right. But I also really appreciated that they brought up the idea, because this is something that needed to be addressed, of does Ruri actually like Chrome? In that way.
Yeah.
Because, yes, childhood friends and all that stuff, right?
Right.
But did she actually want him to win? Right? Did she actually want to marry him and all that stuff? So because that was brought up, and the whole idea of like, oh, will you marry anybody? And it's like well, yes, I am the priestess, so I will do that. And it's like, no, you idiot. Yeah, what else is she going to say?
Read between the lines.
Read between the lines, right? You know, but it's bringing that up because I would have hated for Chrome to be in the situation where he has the potential to win, but then it's the realization of, oh, I guess she doesn't like me, so no, I'm not going to.
And what they did was, I would say, a little bit of we're going to not have anyone get married here, so we don't have to deal with that conversation here. But we're also going to tease out that she does like Chrome.
So we can see it develop in front of us. Yeah.
In a more natural,
Mm-hmm.
long form kind of way.
Exactly.
Which I'm
all for that.
I prefer that, as opposed to the silly awkwardness, which does have potential to be different at the very least.
Yes. And also the fact that both of them, even though while Ruri has not acknowledged to Chrome that she wanted him to win specifically, right, because he was not in any state to be able to observe those proceedings. Right. It's something where we as the audience know that they both like each other.
Yeah. So you have failed this city.
I have failed this city. I thought for sure I turned that off.
I made you quote also that show that you hate. So.
I know that is a proper punishment. But yeah, but the idea that also Chrome has made it known to Ruri that he likes her, so that way we can actually see some development in that angle, even though they're not in an official relationship that a lot of anime don't normally get to because of the blushing, bashful nature and not admitting their feelings and to themselves and each other.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome if once Ruri has kind of a moment where she's talked with Senku, given a lot of the exposition of what happened, they go through a lot of that. Ruri realizes that in the world moving forward, her position isn't really necessary anymore. It is more of a figurehead for the people to feel comfortable a little bit, but it's not actually functionally necessary, which means that who she marries is up to her. Right. She's free now. So she could literally have a moment where it's kind of the subversion of Chrome. And he's like, yes. And she's like, could we? And it's and he's like, and he just and Senku just kind of like kicks him in the butt, and they're like, and then it's kind of the thing of where they end up together, but it's not that they're married or anything. It's just that they get to be together, and there's the budding romance that comes from that. I very much liked the hot springs scene with Taiju and Yuzuriha. Because not that it was a hot springs scene, but because they were talking about their relationship.
Yes.
Now, even though I didn't like necessarily that they were doing the thing of, we will wait because this show is going to go the distance, so
we won't explore that just yet.
Because it's not our part of the story.
Right.
But Chrome, he's kind of front and center with Senku here, and Ruri can kind of join into the crew a little bit, and that'll be a cool dynamic with her and Kohaku being able to just do things together. And maybe she'll become a gorilla like, Kohaku. You never know.
Who knows? I think Chrome wouldn't mind that.
Probably not in terms of things there. But no. Remember, Chrome is not a fan of the gorilla part. He likes to poke fun at that specifically.
Never mind.
Okay. we brainwaved there for a second. We don't need to discuss.
Y'all know what I was talking about.
No. They might not. So as long as we know, that's good. Anyway. So we've got the the good, I would say, third of the show left to get into here, where let's figure out Ishigami Village. What's the story? Yep. How long ago was the village started? Is the dad alive? Did the dad leave anything else for Senku?
I mean, the dad's probably dead.
Okay. That's possible. But it doesn't have to be that way. Doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, but it does also bring up the idea of there's the past of the village, the future of the village, because now what Senku can accomplish is way more, right? Yeah. And then also potentially they want to get back to the origin of how all this happened. Because
are we going to get into that discussion again now?
Because there is a potential that this could address that, right?
Ishigami was someone that maybe was aware that this was going to happen or something?
Or something. I mean, we don't have any necessary reason to believe that, but based on what his story is, of what his life is, did he just grow old and die in the village and that was it? That could totally be it, right? But if there was anything mysterious about his disappearance or anything like that, maybe I'm probably projecting too much Attack on Titan onto this. But
we don't know he disappeared at all anyway.
Right? Yeah, it's named after him. It's named after him. Which, by the way, if that's what it is, again, perfect, because it's the passing of the torch. It's Senku's dad setting things up for him like he did before.
Yeah, and not necessarily specifically for Senku, but more of the if my son. Ever, gets out of, the petrification.
Yeah. If my son ever wakes up from petrification, people will start to know because he will do things.
Sure.
He will do things.
Now, I want to bring up a theory, though. If you're a father and you wake up in this situation, don't you immediately go looking for your son? And if you're smart, wouldn't you pretty easily find your son? I think you would. You would think, I would think he was at school. The school relation to where I was is this direction in the northeast or something.
That is a good point. I feel like no. So here's something that not necessarily.
Okay.
If I wasn't going to, this is why I wouldn't.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want my son to wake up just yet.
That has nothing to do with whether or not he found his son, though. Because just because he found him doesn't mean he has the ability to wake him up.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Imagine the emotion. This is more what I'm bringing up here, is that when you have a father and son dynamic, there's a specific type of story that is stereotypically told in that there is a legacy dynamic that has to happen there. So it means if the father is an character in the story that has agency, meaning he didn't just die in the past or what have you, you have that little bit of a feeling of what's a great example? Hohenheim and Edward Elric.
Sure.
And Al. Hohenheim is going about the world doing his thing for reasons that are because he loves and cares about his family, but he makes sacrifices that gives off the appearance that he's, he's got his own thing going on. That's doesn't care about them.
He's at the very least not present, which is the situation here, and even if for different reasons.
Right, and most fathers in these types of stories are usually not present. It creates more interesting drama kind of stuff.
I love, though, that the relationship was a really positive one, even though they are separated. I love that.
Right, so that makes me think that if this father was intelligent, like Senku, smart guy, has a lot. I almost want to rewatch the backstory episode now because it has
everything we can about him.
Right. There's a possibility that he had kind of his own way of basically setting everything up to be this way. And some of the things that we have kind of looked at as really cool, maybe coincidences that were near, where he woke up, or the fact that he woke up.
Sure.
It was something where it's oh, dude, your father has been helping you way more than you think. It's not just this village here. That's my theory, is that there was a moment where he found Senku and he cries over the thing there because he doesn't know how to do it.
Right.
And then 10 years later or something like that, he comes back and he has the way to do it, but it's not working or something. So then maybe he finds the cave thing or what have you. Because That's actually an interesting point. What caused Senku to wake up? It was the counting, right?
No, it was the drip.
Why was he underneath there?
Tectonic movements, I don't know, like 3,700 years, that's a long time.
I'm with you.
Uh-huh.
But
yeah, I would not be too surprised if the dad found him and then moved him to a place of shelter, basically, because he's like, I don't know how to wake you up, but I can do this. Now, one of the other things that is interesting, if the dad set up the village, because the real issue here, Senku was lucky in the sense that he figured out how to wake people up.
Right.
If the dad did find out how to wake people up, that's one thing, but then where did that ability go? Like why aren't there more people woken up? So that he probably didn't know how to wake people up.
Well, we don't know there aren't more people woken up.
No, right. But like from the village and things like that, like the things that they have access to and whatnot, right? They would have had to lose that ability if the dad had it at some point,
that's probably why Ruri exists, is that they have been passing along as many things as they can, but certain things just still end up getting lost.
Sure.
Especially exact science stuff. That would be hard to do without writing.
Right, but if it's but I would say it's probably a lot more likely that he didn't figure out how to wake people up.
Right.
In which case, he had to meet at least one other person in order for the village to start. That does kind of explain why most of the villagers have blonde hair. But it's something where there would need to be at least one other person in order for a population to begin. Right? So then the question is how did he find that person? Was it just a random happenstance of them waking up or what? Like, that question can be got into, because that is something that needs to be addressed.
That is true. Jacob's like, and that's why everyone has blonde hair. I'm like...
I know that Senku's dad doesn't actually have blonde hair.
Well, no, it's not even the blonde hair thing.
No,
it's
I know.
Just all right, we can have the incest talk. I mean,
why not? Early civilization, if you only have one dude and one girl, that's... Anyways, but this is a great episode. They had plenty of wholesome stuff in here. It's wonderful.
But and now the world opens up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And we've said it before, but I'm just really happy for Asagiri again.
It's one of those things that wasn't necessary, but it was necessary, kind of a thing.
Well, yeah, it was necessary to happen at some point, but it wasn't necessary to happen here.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Also, what is Suika's melon made of? Because, like, that thing, I feel like that's the magical item of this story. Like,
what do you mean made of?
Well, like,
it's a melon.
No, I know, but like, it's a melon rind. Like, you know, they use it for a lot of things. I get the feeling it's gonna. Yeah, just like the fact that it hasn't broken down or something like that. I don't know. I guess it kind of has, though. Well, yeah, it has. yeah. Okay.
If anything, I just loved the fact that he tosses it to Senku, and he's like, science, and Senku's like, yeah. And I would have loved to have Crumb go, well, that wasn't what I thought he was going to do. Yeah, but there you go.
Yeah.
Just the idea of the increased force because of that was
mechanical advantage.
Yeah. And on his testicles. So
that's right.
Rest in peace, Ginro's offspring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he's not going to have a harem anyway, so you know.
That's true. That's true. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. So you can chat with us about these stories, about anime in general, and you can talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yep. Battle Lines. You know it. You love it. It's on Amazon. Link in the description. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.